Time for our panel of the day. Paula Bennett, who's the Pharmac chair and former National Minister. Ask Me Anything host as well. Great podcast. Dave Letele, BBM founder's with us too. Hey, Dave.
Hey, bro, how's it going?
Good, thank you. Good to see you both. Thanks for coming in this morning.
Thank you.
You were actually nearly getting, you were just telling me, to 100 episodes.
I am in a couple of weeks. I'm quite excited about that.
It's a great achievement.
Thank you.
Well done.
Yeah, most don't sort of survive, do they?
No, they don't. No. All right, we'll talk about, I can't ask you about them. I don't want to ask you about the energy stuff because you're Pharmac, you're government employee, that sort of thing. But Dave, do you have, watching that announcement yesterday, any hope power prices will come down?
No. I keep saying this, it's the D word. It's a disgrace. You know, the thing is, like, we are at where the rubber,
hits the road.
And we're seeing families with children having to sleep under laundry because they can't afford to put the heat on. So when are they, like you were saying earlier, it's a talk. Same as the last government. Nothing ever happens. If they're going to make an announcement, then have it be an announcement.
Yeah.
You say, this is what we're going to do to bring prices down. And then do it.
It is that complicated, though. I'm not going to defend it or not defend it, but it's that. It's funny when you're out of government, you've got all these. It just looks black and white, and then you get in, and you're like, well, that's. And then there's just all of these complexities of manipulating markets and how much you do that, and and so it just. Yeah, I will say that once you're in there, it's like the unintended consequences and, do no damage has got to be, where you start, and then try and do a whole lot of good. And it gets really complicated, I've got to say.
How did you deal with that when you were a minister? Because I've heard this described to me before as well. It's like, calm down, Ryan, you're always, you're wanting everything to happen yesterday. But that's what people want, and they want the best for New Zealand. So did you, going down there's like getting in a washing machine, do you make better decisions when you actually leave Wellington and come out and talk to people? How did you...
Yeah, definitely. And there's times when, there's nothing like a bit of life experience, so you kind of know, you've lived it. Certainly from my perspective with social development in particular, I'd been on a bit of it. I'd studied and had life experience and then going in. So often I would challenge and just say, well, that might be on paper, but that's not actually the reality of people's lives, and that's not actually what's happening there. But I was reading Carolyn Tremaine, who's leaving MB and has been in the public service for so long, and she said the best ministers go in with a plan. They know how to execute it. It's the same in business, like if you then set those priorities and you are just absolutely determined to work your way through it. You can see someone like Erica Stanford in that position.
Yeah, I think Paula's been is a great example of actually having lived experience and understanding what these decisions have and the way they affect the people. And I'll never forget, Paula, remember that we down at the headquarters viaduct when I was complaining to you, said, what am I going to do to get some money out of these guys? And she gave me some great advice. Never depend on the government to pay your wages, because once they do, they've got you. And I really took that on board, and so can we get some money from Pharmac?
Get some medicines, you reckon?
We're the best medicine. In terms of weight loss, do not fund more weight loss. Okay. Fund us.
Get out there and exercise more.
It's great advice. You just didn't take it, Dave.
I'm not saying you shouldn't get government funding, but, when I was a minister and they'd go, well, you need, and I'd go, oh, cool, you work for me now.
Yeah,
if I pay you, that means you now work for me.
I took it on board from that day. I actually, we don't rely on government to pay our wages. That's why I've got all these different things that we're trying to do because of that advice. And it's the advice I give to many other groups that come up to us and ask us as well.
Well, you're at risk, right? Particularly if you're a not-for-profit. If you've got 100% and you're at the whim of a government.
Paula, can you ever imagine me, doing what I'm told from these guys?
No, exactly. You
do this.
You'd be terrible.
Let's go to Wellington. This document dumped from the council, she's bad, Paula. She's bad. But some of the stuff Ethan, our reporter, was showing us this morning, you got sexual assault allegations. You've got which were sealed in an envelope, which are now out there with people's names, all sorts of stuff.
I mean, the fact that information and how it's being dumped at the dump or whatever, and then that desk being sold is just horrific in itself. But man, reading some of that, and I was just like, oh God, welcome to the 1990s. And then I was like, I think it is better now, but it's still happening. Do you know what I mean? Like that sort of sexualised behaviour and people feeling unsafe in workplaces and not really knowing how to report it. I think it would be dealt with very differently now. and everything. But man, reading it was just really confronting.
Yeah.
I heard there's even a better article What about Ryan's article about how hot he is?
Oh.
So, let's change the topic.
That is
Talk about
much
sexualised
more fun.
behaviour.
Yes, yes.
That's something so that's something I would leak myself.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, this article is, no, there's thousands of women swooning over Ryan in America, which is...
Everybody's human.
Yeah,
happens.
which is
Can't
quite
blame them.
fun.
Can't blame them.
Yeah.
Seriously though, coming back to this very serious topic, Dave. The fact that you have such personal stuff that then gets thrown in the dump. I wanted to ask you. You must have seen some very confidential stuff.
God, yeah.
Yeah. So where did you put it after? Is there a special bin, or what happened?
Yeah, so I want to say halfway through my term as a minister, we changed to electronic cabinet papers and all of that sort of stuff. So, and that was very secure, passworded. As you can imagine, even now with Pharmac, I get very confidential information. And so in that case, that it's the IT systems are really robust and we're testing that all the time. But it used to be that you literally got a locked bag at your door at 9 o'clock on a Friday night that were the cabinet papers for Monday morning and that you read. And so you were always just so conscious about locking them up, the safety and security of it. It always went back to Wellington to be, destroyed and looked after appropriately. It's... And then those horrific... Oh, God, I was on the plane the other day and I desperately needed to read something and I was like, I just can't. There's too many eyes around and it's like...
Plus the Wi-Fi. Have you seen the new Wi-Fi on the Air New Zealand planes? I flew at the weekend and there's Wi-Fi out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's an open network, so I'm thinking it's maybe a bit dodgy. I wouldn't be opening Pharmac business.
No.
Yeah, someone asked me this morning, got a note about our Wi-Fi at our gym, saying that it's too slow. I said, well, we're not an internet cafe.
Yeah. Someone said to me on a plane, they said, I just noticed that you can't be that busy because you sit there doing Sudoku. And I went, well, the fact that you can see that I'm doing Sudoku is exactly the reason why I do that.
Hey, we've got a new boss for Pharmac.
Yeah.
And she's Canadian, so we've got a Swedish Reserve Bank boss.
Aye.
And now we have a Canadian coming in as the head of Pharmac. I had a read of her CV this morning. What's your thoughts and impressions?
Oh, look, I'm absolutely wrapped. I mean, we had outstanding candidates, I've got to say, come forward for the role. So the board had to work their way through quite a process, which was exciting for us at the calibre of what we got. We certainly got overseas, Canada and Australia in particular, and then some outstanding New Zealanders as well. Look, Natalie's experience is just absolutely extraordinary. She's 25 years been in the drug business, you know what I mean, for Canada, and so having that level of expertise. And I think it's healthy to have another different set of eyes from outside looking at the model. Is it fit for purpose, the direction we're going in? And certainly I'd had that feedback from the patient advocates as well. They went, New Zealand's quite small. I'm not saying we didn't have someone, but I'm quite excited to have someone from outside looking in.
All right, well, that's good. Dave, you got any views on the new Pharmac boss?
No, I just, I want to really suggest again, when you're looking at funding weight loss drugs, fund us first.
Because, it's an interesting question.
Well, you say societal impacts, is what they talk about, and so it's the result that you want, and
Because the drugs have, they take away your fat, but they also take away your muscle, right? It doesn't distinguish. So
I think all of these things need to be done in conjunction with lifestyle programs because, say, an operation, which I'm not against at all, it doesn't change things for the kids. It doesn't break any cycles. It doesn't change any habits. So you still have to have a really strong mind, as Paula knows, to sustain these things. So I think all of these things, whether it's drugs or the operation, need to be done in conjunction with lifestyle programs like ours. And there needs to be some equity around the funding that is received between us and drugs and,
And that's been proven overseas as well. It's all fine with all the new technologies, if you like, and medicines that are coming out, but at the end of the day, if it's not community-based, if there's not that wraparound, if you're not working on diet as well as exercise and everything we know, then actually you can go backwards and actually sometimes end up in a worse.
Yeah, once the drugs stop, the weight comes back on. Just before we go this morning, we've had very sad news yesterday. I'm sure many of you have caught up with it about Nigel Latta. And I know that both of you have had interactions with him over the years. Paula, very sad news.
Oh my
indeed,
goodness.
especially for his wife. And family.
There's just a whole bunch of 20-something-year-olds that have been raised on the words of Nigel Latta, you know, so many parents, and reading, you know, on social media and things, and those parents that just go, goodness, it was my go-to, and it was, you know, and I met him numerous times, and what an inspirational man, what a thoughtful man, what a kind and compassionate, definitely. But, you know, I just know that my best friend, and she was pregnant with twins, husband wanted to go hunting, and she said you can only go hunting if you read Nigel's book while you're out there, so that we can come back and know how we're going to raise these children.
Yeah, I've only met him a couple of times, but a real great example. I watched an interview he'd done last night where he goes, all he wanted was more time. Yeah. You know, he said that's his wish, to hold his wife's hand for another 30 years. Yeah. You know, and you can never get time back, so we've got to make the most of today. Right?
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.